Welcome, fellow adventurers, to the debut review of Prometheus and Mare Dragon. It is Prometheus here to do a review of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, an RPG that I believe is special to me and many other people, including veterans of the series, who claim this is the greatest. So is this the greatest Elder Scrolls game, and possibly the greatest game ever made by some people's standards? Let's find out. One of the strongest aspects of the game is its world, and although the world does lack some variety when compared to the environments of Skyrim and Morrowind, makes up for it for the many adventures and quests you will find scattered across this enormous map that dwarfs the size of Morrowind and is slightly larger than Skyrim. Of all the Elder Scrolls games, Oblivion has possibly the best quests in the series, and although the game isn't perfect, its strongest aspect is still its sense of adventure. The combat in the game is nothing phenomenal. In fact, some people say it's terrible, and yeah, it's not great. But you know what? No combat system's perfect, really. Now, what I do like about the combat is that it flows. The combat never really stops. You know, once you start swinging, you can't stop. Now, another aspect of the game that is absolutely loved is its sense of adventure. For example, I'm just walking around, wandering the world, when all of a sudden I come across this town. This seemingly empty town, and I may come across... I've done this quest before in a separate character, but you may come across an invisible person.
Talk to Dirham in the inn. I'm tired of this minstrel's freak show our town has turned into.
So as you can see, the people have been turned invisible. Now, for people that haven't played the game yet, and you just come across this town by random, you might be wondering, why are they invisible? So then you go talk to the innkeeper, or Dirham, or whoever you need to start the quest.
Excuse me. We have a small
Here we go.
problem that we hope you can help us with. You may be wondering why you can't see me. We are all wondering the same thing.
I'm gonna ask him what happened.
Everyone in Aylesbury suddenly became invisible several weeks ago. It was sort of fun at first, but the novelty has definitely worn off now. You can imagine how difficult it is to run an inn while invisible. Once you get a reputation as a haunted inn, you can just forget about it. So we've all been keeping quiet, hoping the spell will wear off. But we're running out of patience. We're sure it was an Anglican, but we can't find it. If you can help us, we will be extremely grateful.
Now, that is an example of how you can find so many things. This person is asking us if we want to help them become uninvisible. Wrong words. To help cure their invisibility and just make it that they can see each other again, you know?
He's a resident who took up residence in the ruins of practice.
The music is pretty loud.
He's caused us no end of trouble with his magical experiments, but nothing as bad as this. We've tried to find him, but had no luck. If he's still living in the fort, he's hiding from us, and no wonder. If you could find him and get him to remove this cursed invisibility, we will all be in your debt.
So I just started a quest. Now, the beauty of Oblivion is that you're never forced to do anything. If you get this quest and you don't want to do it, you don't have to. You can go wander off and do it another time. And you know what? That's what I'm going to do, and I'll return to it later. But anyways, what I love about this game too is the sense of adventure, like I mentioned earlier. You wandering this world, and you can see from almost anywhere in this world the Imperial City, a large city that dominates over all others in the Empire. Now, the game's story, the main campaign, is nothing phenomenal, but what truly draws people to this game is the story you can craft for your character. You can customize almost anything about your character. Their looks, which there is so many options, you can almost You never create the same character twice. There's just so many things you can adjust, from their jawline, their eyes, everything. And there's a variety of different weapons and customization options, as well as spells you can use to power up your character in combat. The magic system in this game is nothing phenomenal either, like the main campaign, but it's still pretty decent. You can fire magic spells such as Fireball, and it can do significant damage. Or you can find these stones right here that can help power up your willpower. Or whatever this one does. Let's see what this does. It can conjure your weapons and armor. And if I choose to do that, it just gave me this. See, it's just a sense of discovery in this world. I just came across that at random. And that's not the only time I've come across weird and magical things at random in this game's world. Exploring, you'll find so many different things just scattered across the world. Things that you wouldn't be able to see, you probably didn't notice at first. Now, when it comes to the game's performance, the game has a variety of glitches, like all Bethesda games, but you know what? They're not too bad. They're actually pretty funny at times, but nothing too game-breaking, even though the game can crash sometimes. Now, what is a big problem with the game is its leveling system, though. The leveling people don't like, because when you level up, enemies level up with you, so as you level, the game gets harder. And that ruins the sense of progression, as then you don't feel like you're getting any stronger. Crap, my controller just disconnected. But anyways, that's not too much of a problem. Just don't level up. You can finish the game without having to level up at all. Though you might have to level up once for one of the quests in the main campaign. Now, another slight problem with the game is its age, because this game was released in 2006, even won Game of the Year. It was amazing at the time, and it's still pretty excellent today, but it still has aged kind of poorly, certain aspects of the game. But still, it's still fun to play today, and I find myself playing this for hours on end. Another strong aspect of this game is replayability. Even after you finish the main story, which I've already done on this character, you're still let out to explore the world without having to revert to a previous save before fighting the final boss. Now, another aspect of replayability is that I can play this for hours on end without ever getting bored and thinking I should turn this off now. When I play Morrowind or Skyrim, I play it for a long time and I usually get bored after a certain amount of time and like, okay, I've been playing for a long time, I should turn this off. But for Oblivion, I play this game for hours on end without ever getting bored. And then the only time I shut it off is after hours and I notice that it's too late. I'm like, maybe I should just choose to continue playing this tomorrow. Yeah, and then I end up playing it tomorrow, and the cycle continues of me just playing for hours on end without any break. That's what I love about this game. It's never boring, almost never boring. Sometimes there are certain parts of the game that can be boring, but this game is trying to be fun, and it accomplishes that perfectly. This game is fun, it is imaginative, and it gives players immense freedom to do whatever they want. Now, the immense amount of quests in this game are almost all memorable. You'll never forget any of these quests. Maybe that guy's quest over there, though. He just gets you to kill a bunch of fish. But almost every quest in this game is all memorable. Even some of the ones that aren't that great, because they always have something that makes them memorable. Whether that be a twist or some imaginative and bizarre concept presented within that quest that causes you to go on some weird adventure. Such as the one with the invisibility, or the one that sends you into a picture frame. Now, another thing I love about this game are the cities. Sure, they all look similar, but they all are just packed with quests like the ones I mentioned earlier, and things to do, such as things to buy, and just things to do. I said that twice. The Imperial City being obviously the best of all of them, since it's the largest. Now, one of my favorite aspects of this game, like all the other ones I mentioned earlier, is its music. Jeremy Soule, if you're watching this, you did amazing on the soundtrack. Every track perfectly matches whatever you're doing, such as this track playing right now while you explore a city. Gives you the feeling that you're exploring a large city. Just a grand fantasy city with the bells in the background and the light, the light instruments. It makes the city feel alive, along with the NPCs in this game. I'll get to that afterwards. But yeah, Jeremy Soule did amazing on the soundtrack. He didn't have to go this hard. He did great on the previous one, and did great on this one too. So many of the tracks in this game, such as the ones you hear while you're exploring the overworld, are just so fitting to whatever you're doing in the game. The combat theme fits perfectly, the town themes fit perfectly, the dungeon themes fit perfectly. They all did great with the soundtrack. It's one of the greatest soundtracks Bethesda's ever created, and Jeremy Soule, once again, if you're watching this, give yourself a pat on the back. You did amazing. You did so amazing, giving us just imaginative songs that will ring in our head even after we finish the game. Another great aspect of the game are the NPCs, and yeah, they can seem weird and somewhat dumb at times, but I prefer them over Skyrim's NPCs, who just walk around, stay in the same place all day, maybe walk around a bit, but in Oblivion, they can have full-on conversations, never the same. And sure, it can be weird. They just did the same. They just said goodbye to each other, but they started a new conversation. Now that may seem weird, but that is still interesting. It makes the game feel lively. All the people feel lively. They have their own schedule that they follow. They eat, sleep, they walk around, they buy stuff, they do whatever. It's never the same with these NPCs. They always are either having a different conversation or presenting something new to the player, such as a quest. One thing Skyrim didn't have is the arena, which is although repetitive, still gives you just an arena. You can fight things, earn money for it, and just bring yourself up in the ranks. Now, at the end of the arena quest line, you do get the most annoying character in the entire series, the Adoring Fan, but he kind of grew on me. You know what? He's still pretty funny. He is just unbelievably annoying. I got rid of him, but you know what? He's not great, but he still adds some goofiness to the game. You know, the game can be very funny at times, unintentionally funny. It tries to be epic, but something makes it chuckle. This game's sense of adventure is just unmatched in the series. Sure, Skyrim presents great adventures, same with Morrowind, but you just never get the same experience from any other game in the series other than Oblivion. Now, another thing I want to talk about is how this game makes you want to go on an adventure. Now, I know not everyone's going to have the same experience with the game. Some people may not hate it, may not like it, you know? And you know what? That's totally fine. If you don't like the game, I respect your opinion. I'm not trying to say, like, oh, my opinion's the biggest opinion, the best opinion. No. I respect it if you don't think this game's great. I can understand it. And if you think the game's even better than I'm already saying it, that's also fine. Now, back to the point. What I'm saying is that this game, makes you want to go on your own adventure. A lot of us stay cooped up in our houses all day, playing games, and then you turn on this game, and then it makes you say, you know what? I should go on my own adventure, create my own story. And that's what you should do. This game taught me that you don't always have to follow what's told for your story. Don't let the story be written for you, but let yourself write your own story. You don't have to follow the campaign of this game. You can create your own story. That's what we should all do in life. We should create our own stories, write our own stories, go on our own adventures, see the world, meet new people, go on our own quests. That's what we should do. That's what I learned from this game. It's never too late to go on an adventure. And when you go on an adventure, you will meet new people, find new things that you didn't previously know or see while being cooped up in your normal mundane life, in your normal mundane home. That's what I love about this game. You know, it just makes you feel adventurous. And it gives you the drive to seek out your own adventures. And you know what? Not everyone might have that feeling with this game, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is that if you haven't went on an adventure, you should. Go on a hike, go for a walk. You might find something new, such as how you would find something new in this game. That is one of the strongest aspects of this game. The sense of adventure, freedom, and discovery. So my final verdict. Despite its flaws and some of its shortcomings, such as the age, the glitches, the combat, and the leveling system, Oblivion is still an amazing experience. If you look past those, it's near perfect. Is it the best game in the Elder Scrolls series? Well, that all comes down to what everyone else thinks for it. Personal pet preference, you know, some people might think it's Skyrim, others Morrowind, some people Oblivion, you know what? Whatever you think the best Elder Scrolls game is, that's great. So, really, they don't need to determine which game is the best in the series, unless the Elder Scrolls 6 is a phenomenal game. But for me, Oblivion is the one that provides the best sense of adventure. Now, it could be different for other people, and I respect that. But what I'm saying is that, if you want a good adventure, play Oblivion. Overall, this game, I'll give it a 97 out of 100. Not perfect, but comes close to being a perfect RPG. Giving you a lively world, great quest, great sense of adventure. So Todd Howard, if you're watching this, you did well. I want to thank you for giving us such a great adventure. Me and many other people who have played this game. You put so much love into this game. You gave us such a great experience that we'll never forget. So thank you, Todd Howard, for the game. Jeremy Soule for the amazing soundtrack that I'm currently listening to right now, and everyone else at Bethesda who worked on this. One day I want to work for you guys, and one day, well, if I work hard enough, I could. But overall, this game, if there was one word I could explain the game with, it's magical. The magic of adventure, the magic of discovery, the magic of writing your own story. So much magic in this world. Todd Howard, Jeremy Soule, everyone at Bethesda, good job. Give yourselves all a pat on the back. If you're watching this, just you all deserve so much credit for this game. It did so well, and it deserves so much praise. It deserved Game of the Year. It deserves everyone. It deserves so many people to play it. You crafted a great game where we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, and just let us loose in this world. But what do you guys think? Do you think the game's better than what I give it credit for, or do you think it's worse? Whatever you guys think, I respect whatever other opinions people may have of this game. That's all totally fine if you don't like it. I'm not saying that you have to. But if you haven't played this game before, I recommend that you do play it. It is amazing. Anyways, that's all for the review. If you want, you can leave a like and subscribe, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm not trying to become like Mr. Beast or anything, get millions of subscribers, though that would definitely make my day. But I'm not here for you guys to make my day. I'm here to make yours. Goodbye, everyone. Stay tuned in for more Prometheus and Mare Dragon reviews and gameplay. See you guys next time.